What is an adult problem you were not prepared for? Back hurting just from sleeping wrong, and from sitting wrong, and from doing housework and yard work, and from picking up dogs or kids, or whatever life requires. How often you have to clean to maintain a clean house? Not only clean, maintenance in general. I just found spot of mold in my garage and have to pull out what feels like half a wall. The increasing speed of passing years. Having nieces only makes the problem worse. Their age and the perceived number of years past doesn't align at all for me. That's actually something your brain does. As you get older, your perception of time quickens. In some sense, time literally starts to go faster as you age. Remember how long things took when you were a kid? Edit. Okay, I get it now. Oh, rip my inbox. Dealing with your parents acting like children. My parents have always acted like children. However, as a child I was blind to this. Now as an adult I realize how immature and lost my parents actually are. Adults never actually growing up. Yeah, this. I used to look at 30-year-olds and be like they got it figured out. Now I'm 30. I feel as useless as I did when I was 17. Deciding what to eat for 3 meals a day 7 days a week. In this direct vein, how expensive cheese is. You have to buy insurance, but can never use the insurance or else no one will sell you insurance. Duck, using insurance too. I've been fighting for the last 3 months because my homie Arwanas refuses to acknowledge storm damage to my roof. I swear they've spent more trying not to cover the damage than if they would have just fixed things. Advice to other homie Arwanas out there. Never let an insurance adjuster look at your roof before a qualified roofer has. And make sure that roofer is present when the adjuster comes. If their adjuster misses things they will fight like hell before admitting a mistake. Aging parents. Definitely this one. I still remember being a little kid around 5 or 6 watching The Land Before Time and crying over Littlefoot's mom dying. I cried to my mom saying I didn't want her to go anywhere, and she said, "Don't worry because it's something that won't happen for a really long time." Cut ahead almost 30 years, and that time is almost here. I still remember it so vividly, and losing my parents is probably the scariest thing in my life. Seems like time flew by, and I'm worried with how quickly it's all moving. Realizing some friends are chisgy, and you shouldn't be friends with them anymore. Edit. Holy bay Jesus y'all, this blew my inbox the F up. And, thanks for the gold. Just remember, you deserve to be happy, and if people are actively trying to take that away or hinder it, reassess that relationship. You don't need to kill it immediately, but definitely take time to really think about it. This right here. Chisgy friends don't seem that bad when you're in high school. You see a bit more of toxic behavior in college, and then once you're in the real world you realize that type of energy isn't worth having in your life. How many adults I actually dislike. When I was younger, I thought my parents liked all our neighbors, all my teachers, all my coaches, etc. I've since found out that they thought most people were morons. Kind of like I do. This right here. I'm amazed how lonely being an adult actually can be. Trying to make friends. Being social as an adult is rough, especially when your friends start moving away or having kids. I lost my wife of 35 years. There is no way to prepare, and really no way to describe that loss. Sorry for your loss. I lost my 25-year-old brother who left behind his 6-year daughter. Life isn't the same when you lose someone you love. I know it's not the same, but I feel yeah. The constant obsessive feeling that I'm fast running out of time to have an enjoyable life, even though I'm only in my 20s. I'm 40. That feeling is real, and you should listen to it. Do it now. You might not get the chance later. My great-grandmother said that she and my great-grandfather promised they would always take a cruise around the world after they retired. It never happened because life got in the way. But they could have done it when they were younger. Don't ruin yourself financially, but if you can do that crazy thing you always wanted to do, go do it. Make it happen. Edit. Let me be clear. Don't run off and put yourself in a bad situation. But if you can stretch yourself and spend a year overseas or build that car or live in that place, do it. Don't put yourself in $100,000 of debt you can't afford to have a good time. Not being able to sleep due to stress. Yet here I lay, exhausted but wide awake. When I was younger I could sleep anytime, anywhere. Pro tip, if you don't fall asleep within 30 minutes, get out of bed. Otherwise you'll lay at your bed with lying awake. Furthermore, you could actually do something. You're gonna be tired tomorrow anyway, so why not do the dishes, clean the toilet, or organize your living room? Just any small task for 15 to 30 minutes. You'll feel good, because you did it. Your bed cools down, so when you get in you have something to be proud of, and your bed is cool. This has helped me many times. I've also walked a lot in the middle of the night. Lying awake sucks big time, especially because of stress, but making your home a better place by cleaning and organizing helps a lot. Edit. Avoid screens. Edit 2. To those now lying in bed for way too long, just get out of it. Eat something healthy, clean your desk or the kitchen counter, or give your dying plants some water. Take a small break from lying awake, and try again in 30 minutes. How expensive lamps are, and floor rugs. The endless teeny tiny implications of adult freedom. You have your own medical insurance plan now. You need to pick a primary care physician. Okay, who should I pick? Up to you. But like, where should I start? How do I know which doctor to choose? Up to you. How do other people find one? They just pick the one they like. I don't know any of these doctors. I felt like this when I got hired and had to choose withholdings for taxes and what health insurance to choose. No freaking guidance whatsoever. My job is destroying my mental health, but I need a job so I can pay my bills. If I reduce my hours for better work/life balance, I lose my insurance during a global pandemic. This one right in the feels. My doctor has been telling me for about a year and a half that I should really be on disability because of my mental health. But I can't afford to wait for 2 years through the inevitable denial/reapply/denial/reapply phase, and I also can't afford my income being cut by 75%. So, I'll just be over here, trying to keep my head above water when I really don't know how to swim. Falling in love at an older age, but watching life speed by so fast. Wished I'd met her 30 years ago. All the choices you made led you to that love though. Going from having tons of friends to really having no one. Even the few you have, if they get married and start popping out kids before you. I was a groomsman at my buddy's wedding and haven't seen him face to face in 2 years. First kid, back to college for his master's degree. House renovations have all kept him on lockdown. And now quarantine, right when he finished his degree. How expensive living is. I worked all through high school, but my only bill was the gas I put in my car. 30 hours a week on minimum wage goes a long way on shopping sprees and nail salons when you don't have any other expenses. I developed nasty spending habits, not the value of a hard-earned dollar my parents were hoping for. I'm not in crippling debt or anything, but sometimes having to spend money on groceries or utilities depresses me more than it rationally should. Yeah, when you're in high school having a few $100s makes you feel loaded. You can buy whatever game you want and do whatever with friends, but as an adult hundreds of dollars is just enough to buy groceries and gas. How quickly fruits and vegetables actually go bad when you buy them yourself. And you buy them thinking you're going to eat them because they're good for you, and you know that because you're an adult, but there's always something else to eat and no one is making you eat your vegetables. Look up the cartoon panel, CRISPR draws, where good intentions go to die. In my mind my mama should be about 40. She has always seemed to be so strong, but sometimes I want to fall apart when I see her take several attempts to stand up or make excuses about driving on the interstate. She will be 70 soon, but to me, she is still young. I don't know what I'll ever do without her. I lost my mom 8 weeks ago. It's hard living without a parent. She was only 60, but I always thought of her as 42. She died before I had the chance to talk with her one last time. It was very unexpected. Give your mama a hug and tell her you'll drive her down the interstate to get her where she needs to go. Being able to not cook the same meal every day while balancing hundreds of other tasks. I will always admire my mom for how she was able to cook, have a clean house, work 43 hours, and help her children do homework all while taking time to work out at the end of every day. I could mention other common problems like money management and common tasks that I haven't mastered, but what really hit me like a train was the actual transition of adulthood. Him talking about having to make my own appointments and having to keep tabs on myself instead of handing every single document to my mom. I realized how unorganized I was when I found my birth certificate in the same drawer where I have junk receipts. I realized how unorganized I was when I found my birth certificate in the same drawer where I have junk receipts. Hi, I'd like to return this child. Yes, I know he's 30 years past the return date. Can I speak to the manager? Drifting away from school friends because moving away, but then struggling to make new friends in a new city. Edit. Wow. Didn't expect to wake up to karma and awards. Thank you, kind strangers. I have a friend from high school that I really do love to hang and talk with still. When I moved to college 2 hours away, we barely saw each other. When I graduated and moved only 40 minutes away, I swore I would visit more often. But I also then had a job that ate up my time. I ended up seeing her even less now despite living closer. It's so frustrating. Keeping everything balanced in your 20s is so damn hard. It's entirely possible to lose your job through no fault of your own. Laid off last year when my company cut 273 positions and outsourced them instead. My kid was 5 months old at the time. I never felt more adult. Having others rely on you as an emotional ballast. I can barely stay sane myself, let alone carry the weight of someone else's sanity. When I was young, death seemed very romantic. The idea of everyone being so sad about you being gone and regretting every wrong against you. Now I have way too many responsibilities to die. I have seen how loss really affects the people I love and would never want to subject them to that. Having to institute a complete body hair management program. Ears, eyebrows, nose, chest, balls, then losing it the only place I want it. My head. For the first time ever, a few months ago my barber said, "Mate, you want me to do something about these eyebrows?" Pain. Arthritis is ducking horrible, and early onset autoimmune arthritis is worse than just having an ache in one or two joints. I hurt all the time, everywhere, and everyone just storms "You're faking it," or "You're a pill popper." I'm not going to live another 20 years with this pain like my dad did. And the worst part is, when people say you're too young to have arthritis. Yeah, I agree. I'm way too young to have this chiz. Still got it though. Having a presentable place and debating myself on why it matters. It always frustrated me when my parents had a guest over and we had to deep clean the whole house. Like, if it's my close friend of 8 years visiting, why do I care what they care about my cleanliness? And yet, every time people are over I find myself cleaning the apartment up for some reason. First thing you say is "excuse the mess." Turns out, you get fat from overeating. Bread makes you fat. Losing people, loved ones passing away is the hardest. Then there's the nasty breakdown of personal relationships, family relationships and friendships. Then there's the sad drifting apart that happens when life takes you on a different path to a person you were once really close to. Being an adult is accumulating a long series of heartbreaking losses. The lack of time for myself. Life is all work, housework, yard work, childcare, bills, emails, phone calls. What's funny is that I have so much more free time now as an adult, single with no kids, that I know of, and it still doesn't feel like enough. No homework, no silly adult projects renovating bathrooms, etc. No extracurriculars that take up a load of time, and yet every night once I'm done eating dinner it's like, damn it, I have to go to bed in a few hours. Realizing that not even your parents have all the answers. And finally understanding that they were just figuring it out as they went, just like we are. Not having an all-knowing figure to give you the answers to all your problems is the pits, and I hate it. Edit. Just wanted to add that I agree, figuring stuff out for yourself is rewarding and fun, but some things you really don't want to figure out for yourself or can't figure out. And for those things it's nice to have someone to point you in the right direction. Edit. Holy upvotes Batman. 3k. I think this might be my most upvoted comment. I thought once you become an adult you just figured it all out. Sometimes it seems like the older I get the more confused I am. When you're not in school, surrounded by your peers, meeting new people, and making friends is much harder, and in many cases almost impossible. And dating is a whole other ballgame. Then again, for a lot of us that isn't too different from how high school was anyway. I found it easier to make friends at work than at school. At work everyone I'm around is more or less like-minded, and we have at least one thing in common. In school I was made so miserable by the system that I really didn't connect with anyone. Crippling loneliness and romantic rejections. My heart is just dead, and now I feel empty inside. Listening to Hank Williams as a child prepared me for that. No one telling you to stop procrastinating. Many Redditors mention the 5-minute rule to fight procrastination. Basically, if something takes 5 minutes or less to complete, just do it. It creates momentum, and it might encourage you to complete tasks that require more time. The snowball effect of poverty. Every major bill or unexpected emergency, $500 plus, takes you back 6 months to a year. It feels like you're on an escalator made of mud. Just had to pay $400 for a CAT scan for a pain in my side I've been having. Throwing that money away, to be told they can't see anything wrong, just hurts. Edit. I realize my measly $400 is nothing compared to what other people have to deal with, but Op's statement just rang true for me last night. I was tossing and turning trying to sleep knowing that I'd be getting a call this morning that would tell me if I had to go in for an endoscopy or another goddamn cord scan because they need to scan my stomach/pancreas again since they found nothing before and my situation has yet to improve. It's the not knowing while paying out the for this type of stuff that is frustrating. How ducking dark life actually is. Like, is this all we do? Just grind away at jobs we try to care about, but no one else cares about. Barely able to afford our bills/houses/debts. Constantly struggling with relationships and trauma, and watching our political system fail us, our country fail us, our systems fail us. Like, this life is not what happy adolescent me dreamed it would be. Sorry to get real dark on y'all. There's something so comforting to me about knowing that there are other people that feel this way. I think a side effect of coming to terms with this truth is that it's an isolating feeling. It really helps to know that we are not alone in feeling that we are toiling in mediocrity. Having to have a genuine purpose in life. Just how hard it is to lose weight once you're past your 20s. I'm with ya. Dieting sucks and working out can be really exhausting. No one else is going to kill that bug. That's what raid and a vacuum is for. My cats don't do their one job, so I had to improvise. I was in no way prepared for the fact that one dark horrific day I would sit on my own balls, which is definitely something someone should have mentioned. It left me feeling different somehow. It changes you, because it is like you betrayed yourself. Gross pay versus net pay. Holy chiz. Also, still haven't gotten my first stimulus check. Oof. That one hits so hard. Preparing for retirement. Of course everyone knows they will stop working at some point, but now that I'm 40, it feels like I really need to get it together. Am I going to continue bad habits that negatively impact my health, or will I finally make changes to be healthier later? My new favorite worry, will I really have enough money to retire and live comfortably enough to have a good of quality life? 10 years ago this all seemed so far away. Now, it feels like I'm speeding to the next phase of my life. I'll be working up until noon on the day of my funeral. Cliques and bullies are just as bad in the office as they were in school. As you got older, isn't it easier to call them out? I have no problem with throwing a bully's behavior in their face and watching them try to justify being a rickhead. Next time someone says something mean to you, just try it. It's amazing to see a 40-year-old man look completely lost when you ask him why he thinks only poor people eat flatbread and hummus. Like, WTF Greg, it tastes good. It's not my fault you're fat and doesn't understand why everyone isn't drinking Mountain Dew and eating Snickers. Ducking bipedal elephant. Dealing with untreated childhood trauma. Currently watching my life fall apart from not dealing with this. It's all good though. This is fine. I'm fine. People rely on you. Both your parents and your kids. You become the filling in a responsibility sandwich and the weight of it is crushing at times. How ignorant so many people are. And seemingly pleased with being so. Sustaining motivation to continue my responsibilities such as money and shelter. Woman here. Random chin hairs. Popped up in late 30s. I feel betrayed. Mine popped up mid 20s. Solidarity sister. Being the mature one. Having a gorgeous woman you are crazy about and very turned on by in bed, and having your penis not cooperate. No, it's not you. You're the best thing ever. I'm tired and my chronic pain is flaring up, and I had 3 drinks instead of 2, and I'm in my 30s. Come on little soldier. Fight the good fight. We used to do this 6 times a day in high school. WTF man. Medical issues and the costs associated with them. I went from a late 20s guy with no issues other than the occasional cavity to a late 30s guy with spondylolysis, OSA, anxiety, RLS, and hypertension in under 10 years. It's crazy that I'm taking medications and trying to improve my health because my doctor said I could die in 20 years if I don't shape up. Seriously, I just want to drink beer, play guitar, hang out with the missus and maybe smoke some weed now and then, but these last years have hit me like a ton of bricks, and from what I understand it keeps getting worse. Ditto here. No serious health issues in my 20s, just a yearly checkup. Got diagnosed with manuscript right at the end of 2019, now in my 30s, and all of a sudden I'm going to doctors and hospitals, receiving expensive bills, and feeling like chiz most of the time. The number one problem, for me at least, is that on top of having all those anxieties and unknowns of a new disease and medical care costs, if something goes wrong, an overcharged bill here, or a paperwork error there, the onus lies on you to fix it. Doesn't matter how sick you feel, or how tired you are. You have to wade through so many on hold jingles, and so much bullshit to get your problem fixed. Frankly, I don't understand how people do this for a lifetime, and keep their head above water. I've heard people complain about medical issues, and having to deal with health providers / insurance companies, but I really didn't understand, until I had them myself. I'm supposed to get a treatment once a month, to stop the advancement of my manuscript. I'm now 8 weeks out, a month behind, from my last infusion, still calling daily, and waiting on calls back, to get the next one scheduled, feeling chistier and chistier each day, and weighing whether I should continue to risk my health, or whether I should go into debt and just get the treatment. Anyway, it's a shame medical bills and responsibilities are adult problems when just aging / disease is a problem enough in itself. Having my daughter diagnosed with a brain tumor, there was no way to ever prepare for that. Edit. Thank you everyone for the kind words. Her diagnosis was almost 5 years ago, and she is doing fantastic now. I'll give a little backstory to answer some questions. She was 5 years old when she was diagnosed with an optic nerve glioma, or a tumor on her optic nerve, and had fully lost all vision in her left eye by the time it was discovered. She had absolutely no symptoms at all that we were able to see. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time and she wasn't falling, tripping, getting light-aided, headaches. Nothing. How we found out what was her dad and I were doing a craft with her, and she made a pirate periscope out of a paper towel roll. When she held it up to her one eye she said she couldn't see anything. After us covering her eye and asking questions, we believed her. What sealed it for us was when we covered her other eye and shined a flashlight into the bad eye. Instead of her pupil restricting in response, it dilated to almost the entire size of her iris. We panicked, naturally, and took her to the ER. Within 30 minutes she and I were in a helicopter heading to a large city children's specialty hospital, with my husband driving to meet us there. She had the symptom of a traumatic brain injury, and that was outside the realm of what our small local Band-Aid hospital could even begin to handle. We arrived about an hour and a half before my husband, and had all testing done. When he came in, we had an answer: an optic nerve glioma that has atrophied her optic nerve, and the grape-sized tumor was starting to push out her eye. Externally there were no visual symptoms. Then we met with a neurologist, neurosurgeon, and neuro-oncologist. We were given options and decided to go with a combination of 2 different chemo drugs, one that is commonly used with that type of tumor, the other had just come out of clinical trials and was showing some success at restoring vision. She did 12 months of every other week chemo and handled it like a champion. The blood supply to the tumor was killed and it reduced in size by about half. She is still totally blind in that eye, but you cannot tell by looking at or watching her. She's a straight A student, plays sports, and is an extremely talented artist. We still have to see half a dozen ologists, neurologist, neuro-oncologist, oncologist, endocrinologist, ophthalmologist etc. But is thriving and happy. Is she okay? The utter soul-crushing search for a job. Same. I was out of work 4 years due to severe illness, then spent 8 months looking for any job possible, but getting rejected every time. I finally got 2 interviews lined up in April, then coronavirus hit, and they got cancelled. I cannot catch a break. The amount of family get-togethers you don't want to go to after you get married. Basically being alive. No joke, I never planned on living this long. Edit, I'm 24 now, 5 years past what I thought would be my end. I'm so sorry that so many of you feel the same way about yourselves. I hope you either find your peace or a reason to live, however small. Meanwhile, plan as if you're going to live till 70, so you're not stuck up the creek without a paddle. Stay safe. I love all of you. Same here. I was sure I'd be dead by 30. I'm nearly 2 decades past that now. The punchline is that my younger brother died in a car crash at 29. Edit, my first award on Reddit. Thank you. I have no bloody clue what I'm doing. I surely don't feel like an adult. Being single and childless at 30 doesn't help. Most days, I feel like a kid playing dress up. I wasn't expecting that. I always thought at age 25 people were full on grown-ups. 25 has come and gone years ago, and I still don't feel like a real adult. Getting dumped by someone you've been dating as an adult after months of thinking, you know this one is different. I really think we can make this work. Writing for a friend, of course. My partner of 4 years left me with very little explanation or reason as to why. She just decided she wasn't happy, I guess. Getting dumped can completely derail your life and make you feel like you're back at square one. It's rough. Debt. Not only debt, but overall cost of living that you have to balance against that debt. Talk about a rat race. Peeing when I laugh too hard. Hello. I cough too hard. How quickly your knees will age. Dusting. It never ends. Watching my parents get old. Trying to find the right job. I'm a very indecisive guy. I'm right here with ya. Considering a complete career change and starting at the bottom of the food chain at 38. It's terrifying. Hangovers. When I would drink a lot during college, I would wake up the next and feel totally fine. Thought maybe I was immune to hangovers. Then at some point in my late 20s they started to hit me, and hit me hard. Welcome to the age of the 2-day hangover after only 1 night of moderate drinking. Being sued. Dental costs. Not only is it just expensive, it is so much more choice. Unlike say a broken arm, where you have to get it fixed, a chipped tooth or other minor need is on you. Even the dentist will be like, up to you man. Then on top of that, the insurance for dental is just about the worst thing on the planet. It also seems arbitrary. $900 night guard that doesn't actually fix the problem and will likely still lead to major issues in the future. Sure, no problem, insurance paid in full. $2,000 on realignment to actually fix the thing causing the grinding issue. No way in hell, you are over 19. Having disabling illnesses before I was 40. Dealing with people, so stressful. The depression, dude, the depression and the feeling of loneliness, even when you have people around you. This, gestures at everything. Not being able to leave a job you hate, because you might just become homeless without it. How much freaking money you'd have to spend on toilet paper, and this was a decade before COVID-19 TP hysteria. My boss makes $1 and I make a dime, that's why I poop on company time. Loneliness, social isolation. A society with less and less human contact almost by the year. There were solutions to this, but they pretty much vanished with COVID. The moment you really realize that you'll be working almost every day for the rest of your life. Not that work is bad, but it's a very daunting thought. If you're lucky enough to land a nice 9 to 5, 40-hour-a-week job to support a family, you have anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes a day to yourself, usually on the toilet, for any kind of leisure that doesn't cost money. Removed. Having to be the one who made the call on an ailing elderly pet in the middle of COVID-19, so I couldn't even be in the ducking room for it. I'm sure it's nothing compared to what people with loved ones who have passed are going through, but duck man, that sucked. Adults with the maturity of middle schoolers. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's ducking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.